still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Riding across the desert in a fine Arab charge. Is there anything better? Can you think of anything better? Sex, drugs, rock and roll is number 4. Writing about being out on the road. Maybe the one that got away. I think cars come into play. I think that's an element of rock and roll as well. Talking about the well-oiled machine, certainly a chick magnet, and no exception there with Emotional Rescue. Ladies and gentlemen, the Rolling Stones. Of course, that's outside in the desert. Do you realize that all 6 games played during Wild Card Weekend will be outside as well? First time since 2007. That has been the case. 4 out of the 6 road teams are favorites. That includes right here in Jacksonville. The Buffalo Bills, favored by a point, maybe a point and a hook. Your total somewhere in the neighborhood of 51.5, perhaps 52.5. That seems to be the popular wager right now. Play the over with these 2 explosive offenses that we'll have at it Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock. We'll check in with the Philly Godfather. He'll join us in about 33 minutes, and we'll take a look at tomorrow night's game. Friday night's game in college football. Houston visiting Pittsburgh. The numbers on the Pittsburgh Steelers, oh, by the way, are absolutely frightening, okay? Pittsburgh, and when I saw this today, I had to go back and double check because it just did not sound as if it was actually the case. But if you look at playoff games for the Steelers, and we know they haven't won since the 2016 regular season, January of 2017?
Yeah, 10 years.
Yep. They've been outscored in the last 6 first quarters, 73-0 in the first quarter. I've never been a big fan of because I don't bet, as far as you know, but I've never been a huge fan of playing first half lines or doing anything on those lines. Hey, that may be the case here for Pittsburgh. Also, the Panthers become the biggest home underdog in the history of the NFL playoffs. That's another little nugget that you can take a look at coming up on Sunday. We'll have some first-time quarterbacks, right? Not Trevor Lawrence. Bryce Young, a first-time QB. Caleb Williams, a first-time playoff quarterback. I should say playoff quarterback for Bryce Young. Williams and Drake May. So out of the 14 that remain, out of the 12 that play, you have 3 first-timers. You actually have 4 overall who were selected number 1 in the draft. That includes a kid out of Georgia who went to Clemson, who is a generational football player, Trevor Lawrence. Do you realize that Trevor Lawrence and Josh Allen, in their last 6 football games, have 1 combined turnover? That was a few weeks ago when Trevor threw the in the end zone pick when they turned it over twice in the red zone, something they absolutely cannot do if you want to get out of this football game alive against the Buffalo Bills. Also selected with the top overall pick, Matt Stafford, who's certainly the oldest of the bunch, Bryce Young and Caleb Williams. So there you go. Road teams have had a lot of success recently in the playoffs. That does not include the Buffalo Bills. The last time they won on the road was in January of 1993, knocking off Miami in the AFC Championship game in Dan Marino to get to a Super Bowl. You could say what you want, and we will. We'll acknowledge, we'll even perhaps brag when you talk about Josh Allen. The guy has been simply spectacular if you look at what he has done numbers-wise in the playoffs. I mean, no one's going to argue with that perspective, okay? 25 touchdowns, 4 picks. Quarterback rating of 101.7. He's added 7 rushing touchdowns. Here's the problem. He's only 7-6. They can't win on the road. They've never won on the road. James Cook hasn't won on the road. Dalton Kincaid hasn't won on the road. Josh Allen hasn't won on the road. Let's see here. Matt Milano has not won on the road. Shaq Thompson, Jordan Poyer has not won on the road. It doesn't matter who you look at. They don't know what it's like to win a football game out of Orchard Park. So I love that. I think that's a unbelievable, irreplaceable, intangible as we get ready for this football game coming up on Sunday. I'm going to take you through the health report here momentarily. It is absolutely bizarre. My count, and I've always been pretty good at it, counting that is, 8 out of the 12, because when you do an NFL depth chart, they're actually cheating. They list 12 on offense and 12 on defense. You ever notice that? They'll add the third wide receiver. They'll also add the nickel back. We know it's 11 on 11. They do it 12 out of 12, okay? My count, 8 of the 12 Buffalo Bills defensive players are on today's injury report. Let's automatically go to rookie corner Maxwell Harrison. He's out. Sean McDermott said that on Monday. He is not going to be able to give it a go. They had 2 other starters today at linebacker, right? Remember how weak this rushing offense is, this rushing defense is for the Buffalo Bills. They're number 1 against the pass, but they are dead last when it comes to rushing yards allowed per game. They've also allowed 24 touchdowns this year on the ground, which is tied for last. And Matt Milano, unable to practice today. Terrell Bernard, unable to practice today. Let's see, respectively, for the 2, where you at? I love when the desk is cluttered. I mean, it's a playoff type of atmosphere here, even though it's midweek. And it's one thing to have a cluttered desk and, you're searching for stuff when it's like draft time. It's totally different when you're talking about the National Football League playoffs. For Milano, he was ill, okay? Jarian Jones, by the way, ill today in Jacksonville. Also at linebacker, let's see, Terrell Bernard with a calf. He did not work. So 2 guys didn't practice today. 3 on the defense were limited. Joey Bosa, actually checked that. Bosa was full. Cole Bishop, their free safety, was full. The 3 guys today who were listed as limited, Daquan Jones on the defensive line, Shaq Thompson, their other linebacker. So all 3 backers right now are nicked up. And there you have it. That is your injury report. Even their kicker, Matt Prater, unable to give it a go. Josh Allen was full today, all right? He did not play last week. He took a snap, came out. It was Mitch Trubisky, and he got another week to rest the lower body and the foot, but he did practice in full. The only guy that was really of any of any significance today, because I think Joshua Palmer's been really pretty close to zero. He's been basically a Diami Brown version of the Buffalo Bills. Dalton Kincaid was limited today as well. All right. I want to start with this because I'm trying to figure it out. And I don't know if I have to figure it out. Just want to share it with you anyway. There's a great deal of something going on in Buffalo, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's ignorance, if it's arrogance, if it's just presenting their way of cooking books to make things look great for their listening audience. And if it's the latter, all the power to them. Because they certainly have put in the research. They certainly have the data. And, I think it's intriguing that you are able to spin it in a direction that a lot of folks out there have. But anyway, I followed a couple of guys this week on Twitter just because I wanted to be fully invested as to, what the tone is there coming out of Buffalo. So I'm reading this kid by the name of Dan Mitchell, who I guess is viral out there. He's pretty good. I think he's one of those self-made members of the media. I don't think he ever did anything of any significance as far as, earning his stripes outside of just creating a podcast, and it's taken off. And you know what? If you do that and the people like you and the people listen to you, that's really all you need to do nowadays. You don't have to go through the learning process of getting into this business the way that it once was. But anyway, I read him on Twitter, and he comes out and he says, Jacksonville lives in the light box. 82.2% of their snaps are in the light box. And he goes on to say, that's a problem. And I'm like, wait a minute here. What's he talking about? So I dive deeper, okay? James Cook, he says, with light fronts, he lists a 7-man box and says that James Cook averages 6.15 yards against the 7-man box. He then goes on to say a 6-man box, he averages 5.27 yards per carry. He then goes on to say that you stack the box, he's still going to give you 4.7 yards a carry. So he's going on and on and on, saying no matter what teams do, including Jacksonville, you're not going to be able to slow down James Cook. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. But hold on here. Since when is a 7-man box a light front? I was born at night, not last night. A base defense in the NFL forever, back in the days of leather helmets, has always been a 7-man front. You may run a 4-3. You may run a 3-4. You may run a hybrid of it both. And we know that teams all the time take out a backer, bring in a nickel. Look at what the Jaguars have done this year with their contain. Heavy with 3 safeties over the last month. The way that they rotated all those corners when Jordan Lewis was still healthy, okay? Phenomenal job by Anthony Campanile with the adjustments and really in-game changes that he has been able to make, and it's worked. What, 14 fourth-quarter takeaways? For the Jaguars, that could be the difference in the game on Sunday. So I have no problem with spilling out whatever it is that you have for information, but look up Football 101. How can you sell to a Buffalo fan base that Jacksonville does not measure up in the light box? So then there's this other guy that I follow because he's in the same boat. Again, I don't know if he has any credibility. I just know that people listen to him as far as his comments on the Buffalo Bills. His name is Kevin Mazar. He goes on to say, and he corrects Dan Mitchell, says, well, 7-man is a basic base defense. It's not light in the box. But then he goes on to say, you know what, though? They struggle with both. That's his quote. Tell me, because I'm all ears, how do you struggle in any capacity as far as your run defense, whether it's a 7-man, 6-man, or a stacked box, when you are the number 1 rushing defense in pro football? How can you even present a story that says that Jacksonville struggles, that that's a problem for Jackson? You know what? The Bills may have the best rushing offense in the NFL. They may come in here and run for 150 plus. What we know is that Jacksonville so far this year hasn't allowed an individual carrier to go for more than 75 yards a game. And no matter which way you cut up these numbers, including them saying, well, the only reason why Jacksonville is number 1 against the run is because they've had the least amount of rushing attempts against them. Do you know who the leading pass defense is in the NFL? Take a guess. Who's the leading pass defense right now in the NFL?
The way you're phrasing, I would say Jacksonville, but I don't think that's correct.
It's the Buffalo Bills. Do you understand that in Buffalo, their opponents also have the least amount of passing attempts. Conveniently not mentioned. Conveniently ignored. Again, maybe I spent too much time on this. Maybe this means absolutely nothing to you. Maybe this was mistake-ridden on my part to over-prepare for the show in the game. But I got to stop with, you've got to be kidding me. If you think they're going to have success running the football, fine. But don't come out with faulty information. Don't come out with information that, again, is clearly not true. And that is what these hammerheads have done in Buffalo. They struggle with both. How do they struggle? They're number one. How do you get struggle out of number one? I mean, if this was college football, you could say, well, look at their competition. Oh, that's right. They did that. Oh, my bad. Maybe they're not giving full credence to teams because these are the same individuals that came out and said, yeah, Jacksonville's won 8 in a row, but look at who they beat. Jacoby Brissett, and he threw for 300-plus yards. They beat Cam Ward twice. They beat Brady Cook. They beat Riley Leonard. They beat a 44-year-old Phillip Rivers. They beat Bo Nix, but Bo had a big game. Bo threw for 3. Anyway, just don't lie to your people, man. Maybe after you have a few brews in you and maybe a gummy, you may lie to a woman at a bar, but how can you lie to your fan base? I mean, apparently they trust you and they go to you for their information. And this crap right here does not fly. It's awful. It really is. So I just wanted to begin with that, throw it out there. That's the type of trash they're talking about right now in Buffalo. Again, they just believe they show up and win. You know what? You don't even have to turn on the showers for those guys. This is going to be a breeze for the Buffalo Bills to come in here and win a football game Sunday at 1 o'clock. That's the way they're selling it. That's the way the fans are acting. Those fans will travel. What are they going to hit up now with Wing It gone? They're going to hit up an Applebee's on Old St. Augustine. They're going to take over a Chili's over there on Old St. Augustine Road. I don't know. We'll see. But they'll be coming in from every direction. Actually, they'll only be coming in from one direction. That's Western New York. And you know what? Come down here, spend your money. Okay? Have a good time. But anyway, really surprised that people can put stuff out there like that. I almost thought it was a parody when I read it. But, it's not. It's what they're going by. All right, how are your eyes? Pitch dark right now. Let me tell you this. 9 years ago, I rolled in to get with Dr. Neil Shmunez. He's like, man, you need surgery tomorrow. You got to get that removed out of your right eye. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm fine. I can see. He's like, no. It's going to spread. It's very dangerous. We got to get it out of there. The very next morning, he performed surgery. Whenever I go back and visit, I see Dr. Neil Shmunez socially as well. All right, he and his daughter, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, outstanding. Dr. John Hunt as well. And they're just really good people. But whether I see him in that capacity or I go in and visit just to get an examination, there's never been any setbacks with my eyes. And that's important. You may be dealing with something right now and you're not even aware of it. You may be dealing with something right now and you think it's significant, and it could be as simple as an allergy. Bottom line, make yourself an appointment. Don't delay anymore. Get in there. Get your eyes examined. Maybe you're a candidate for laser eye surgery. Just imagine the rest of your life never having to deal with readers, never having to deal with contacts. 2020. It's one of the many things that they offer up right there at Shmunez Vision. All right, check them out online, Shmunez Vision. You can also go to Instagram and get all the testimonials there at Shmunez Vision. All right, we are fired up. We are one night closer to Sunday afternoon at 1. The Philly Godfather is coming up at 6:34 today. He's going to give us tomorrow night's college football semi, Friday night's college football semi. He's going to give us Houston going to Pittsburgh. He is going to give us Buffalo coming down here to Duval.
Get in the huddle with 1010XL's QB.
All right, guys, let's make a play for 1010XL.
David Garrard joins Mike and Fat Tony on Jaguars Today. Restored by Resto Pros of Northeast Florida on 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnick Buick GMC is proud to be the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville, earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnick's Treating You Right guarantee. The most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. For 3 generations, Nimnick has been the place customers keep coming back to. They treat you right, and they give a bunch back to the community. Visit NimnickBuickGMC.com today to learn more, or visit their showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
Start the fresh new you with Local Fair Jacks, the online farmers market delivering fresh local food to your door. Start for just $7 with code FRESH1010 at localfairjacks.com.
Take a radio boat ride with Captain Cabin on the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show. Reeled in by the Pest Pros at Royal Pest Services and awaken 180 weight loss
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
After attending a Saturday Bumps and Bruises clinic by Southeast orthopedic specialist, my son's hip and shoulder issues were diagnosed quickly, and he's back playing. As a busy family, we really appreciate their prompt attention.
I've been having knee problems for probably 6 months, and I had heard about Southeast Orthopedics on the radio, and I gave them a call. They got me right in. Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. It was painless, and it's been doing fantastic.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lot bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
Jacksonville, you voted, and Baker Glass came out on top. The Bold City Best Awards are all about locals choosing their favorites, and you picked them for Best Auto Glass and Best Glass and Mirror Service.
I'm back with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Hey, Hicken here. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Whether you're starting a new routine or making player picks for the first time, trying something new can be hard. But in life and on Prize Picks, it always feels good to be right. With high-pressure playoff matchups every weekend and elite hoops action almost every night, the action never stops. And Prize Picks lets you take control. You missing your fantasy team? Hey, my league's already over. But with Prize Picks, you don't have to wait until next year's draft to keep playing fantasy. Prize Picks lets you play fantasy football every weekend, even in the playoffs. Pick your favorite players and win when they hit the projections every week. No draft required. On Prize Picks, how you play is up to you. If you want flexibility, choose Flex Play, where you can get paid even if one of your picks misses. And if you want to take the biggest payouts, go for the Power Play. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code 1010XL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code 1010XL, $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right.
Brian Wall here. Would you take your paycheck, go to the bank, cash it, and then simply throw it up in the air? I didn't think so. But in a way, over the years, that is exactly what you're doing if you have old or builder-grade windows in your home. Even if you have a brand new home, those windows are not the best windows you can have to save on your energy bills. Window World has sold millions of replacement windows to homeowners like you, and Window World's customer satisfaction is the highest in the business. Please check Window World out yourself and save on your new windows and on your energy bills. Compare with other companies and you'll see Window World is simply the best for less. It's up to you. You can call Window World and get a free estimate, get the best guarantee in the window replacement business, save money on your new windows, and save more on your energy bills. Call Window World today at 904-443-7001 or go online to windowworldneflorida.com. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Change your mind, so in love.
Mafia will be all over this song and others. I'm told now with Wing It closed, they're going to be taking over a Piccadilly Cafe. If that doesn't work for them, we need to find out where we should send them.
Apparently, Wingate, there's one on San Jose and Mandarin. So they reopened to a new locale. So.
Where? San Jose and where?
And Mandarin.
No. That's too rambunctious for this group. They needed a little bit more old school. They need old St. Augustine Road like they did back here in 2017. I mean, I was told that, man, they had guys trying to pick up chicks, jumping through tables.
Belly shots.
Yeah, oh my God, all that stuff. Those guys are crazy, man. Bills Mafia. I'm going to go with Piccadilly Cafe. Can we get perhaps some suggestions from our outstanding listening audience as to where the Bills Mafia ought to prep for this game coming up on maybe Friday night if they get there that early? Maybe it's going to be only Saturday. I don't know. So have some fun with that. As always, you do. You can let us know. A couple of ways, 641-1010 on the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. You can also get us at YouTube. Go to 1010XL.com. Someone just mentioned this place to me, and I'm not going to give them credit because I imagine it's a pretty good place, but I'm also convinced that they're just laundering money. So they probably don't even want you to step through the front door. All right, tonight's show is brought to you by the Alexander Law Practice. You can check them out online. Hey, if you've been injured, and right now you're up against it, all right? You're beaten down physically. You may need physical therapy. You may need to see a doctor. Not your fault when you were injured in a car accident, right? Your car could be totaled. These are the type of questions you ask Rick Alexander. Rick Alexander's old school. He's going to deal directly with you. He keeps a small caseload because of this reason. He gets involved with every single one of his clients. And you know what? I think it's a spectacular way to go about business. So large firms, large practices, sure, okay. But what about the personal care that you may need? If you believe that there's no other place that you can go, that no one is wanting to listen to what happened to you. And when most of these car accidents do take place, you're truly the victim. You're not at fault. These are the type of questions you need to talk to Rick Alexander about. Explain your case. Again, you'll never come out of pocket. Everything will be settled at the very end. And of course, if you need a car, you could have one by the end of the week. If you needed to see a doctor, you could be able to do that immediately. Just make yourself an appointment today, all right? It is free. Everything is free as far as the consultation. So go to Alexander Law Practice, or better yet, give them a call at 400-6600. That is 400-6600 for the folks at Alexander Law Practice. How about the Buffalo Bills? 16 players on today's injury report. Not one of them was a Veterans Day of rest. All 16 on this report injury related.
Yeah, and the Jags are the polar opposite, feels like. They are relatively healthy. Cole Van Lannon, a little banged up. Other than him, feels like everybody else should be good to go for Sunday. You can't ask for more if you're a Jags fan right now.
Yeah, I was not there when Cole Van Lannon said it, but he apparently did say to some reporters Sunday he'd be good. And he didn't go today with a knee. Unfortunately, Jarian Jones was ill. There's been a lot of that going around. Remember, Anton Harrison played sick a week ago. He was still inactive, not inactive, but did not participate a week ago today. Got to give a lot of credit to Anton Harrison for, gutting it out. And we don't know the significance of any illness. Just don't know at this particular time. But yes, Jacksonville certainly is fortunate now. And one other bit of news I should say with Buffalo's Damar Hamlin now, he's in the 21-day window to come out of injured reserve. So he was limited today. I would think we'll have a much better understanding coming up on Friday as to whether or not DeMar Hamlin is going to be able to play because Jordan Poyer, the strong safety, was limited. Cole Bishop also on the injury report. They're starting free safety today. And Cam Lewis, a backup free safety, on the injury report. So they're really nicked up on that side of the football. Buster Brown with the neck was limited. Patrick McCarry with his back, limited. Greg Newsome with the shoulder, limited. Danny Strigow with the elbow and the ankle, limited. We have told you a few times now that the two Jaguars who did not practice today, starting left tackle Cole Van Lanen with the knee, and Jarian Jones, who has been ill, did not participate. Both are going to be huge in this football game. I really think there's so many ways to break it down, but I look at the plus 13 in the turnover to takeaway ratio for the Jaguars. Plus 13. The Bills are plus 1. All right? And the Bills, I want to say, are fourth or fifth overall in the NFL with interceptions. They're not as productive with fumble recoveries, and they have turned the ball over a significant amount this year. Perhaps more. I was bragging about what Josh Allen has done in playoff games. 32 total touchdowns, only 4 total interceptions. They have turned the ball over a little bit more this year, but we also know that Jacksonville has forced 14 fourth quarter takeaways. That could be the difference in this game, and obviously that would favor the good boys down here in Jacksonville. All right, speaking of good boys, man, how about the Philly Godfather, best-selling author, multi-millionaire based on knowing who to bet and when to bet. Some craziness is going on this weekend, really. And it feels like the over. It's almost as if people are scared to pick a side between Jacksonville and Buffalo. And the convenient answer is play the over. Let's see what the Philly Godfather is up to. He joins us next right here on your home of the Jags, 92.5 FM.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Are you searching for a career in the HVAC industry? Florida Home AC is looking for an A-team. Full-time positions for qualified individuals to train for HVAC service technicians, install mechanics, and sales consultants. Just log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and click on careers to find out more. We're talking great compensation, a 5-day work week, no downtime in the off-season, and a company-provided vehicle. Check it all out at FloridaHomeAC.com/career. That's FloridaHomeAC.com/career. Equal opportunity employer.
ET here, and when the lunch hour hits, fuel up like you mean it with Lunch at the Lodge at your local Twin Peaks. With hearty, crave-worthy classics that hit the spot. Sink your teeth into our juicy cheeseburger and fries, grilled fresh to order and stacked really high. Or go lighter, but loaded with flavor with our fresh chicken Caesar salad. Or the fan favorite, the turkey avocado smash with sweet potato fries. Really hungry? Our crispy golden chicken tenders and fries are ready when you are. Quick from the kitchen, satisfying on the plate. Join us for lunch at the local lodge, Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views. Home of the 29-degree draft.
It's the Happy Renewal Year sale at Renewal by Anderson. Buy one, get one, 40% off replacement windows and patio doors. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. But this offer expires January 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
New year, new club. This is Joe C., and I'm proud to be a member of Southampton. And with the popularity of golf, getting a tee time is tough. But with membership comes member privileges. Enjoy clubhouse dining, expanded practice area, focusing on all parts of your game. And right now, you can join with an annual commitment and get a $1,000 discount, plus $500 of Pro Shop credit. All the details are online at golfsouthampton.com or call 287-PLAY and make a tee time today at the Golf Club of Southampton.
Need or want cash? Beach's Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all, selling or pawning. Get cash on the spot at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
When you head out for a night with friends or going to the big game, don't forget the best game plan to win the night is to designate a driver and guarantee a safe ride home. Hydrating between buds is the best play you can make. Bud Light, reminding all to drink wiser.
If you need a holiday gift idea, let Kuhn Flowers handle that for you. This is Max with 1010XL. Simply go online to kuhnflowers.com and look at the wide variety of floral and plant arrangements that will make someone's day this holiday season.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative, letting you know that Hardball now offers web stores, so your employees can order their own branded gear, and you have more time for Wordle. Check it out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, the Philly Godfather just absolutely crushed it a week ago. And if you were listening, you're richer. No other way to say it. Dominance. We move on tomorrow night, Friday night, and of course this weekend we have 2 college football semifinals for you and 2 of the 6 playoff games during Wild Card Weekend. Let's welcome in best-selling author and professional handicapper. He is the Philly Godfather. Philly, how are you now? You staying warm out there?
Yeah, it's getting a little nicer today, but in the sports betting business, no matter how much you win, the only thing that matters is what you do next. So I'm ready to fire and hopefully we make some more money this week.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But what a weekend it was for you. It gets tricky here. Some really intriguing games coming up. Let's before we get to tomorrow night's college football game, let our listeners know how they can get your best-selling book. It's called Booked.
Yeah, sure. You can go to phillybooked.com. I'll send you out an autographed copy. Take about 3 to 7 business days, or you can go to Amazon. Ship to order. It'll be out the next day, but it won't be signed.
Yeah. All right. There you have it. The very latest there. I read it. Dylan read it. JJ's read it. Others around here have read it as well. A very good read. You'll really enjoy it. And I say that because I do mean it. Okay. Miami and Mississippi. Fiesta Bowl coming up tomorrow night just after 7:30. What do you make of this one, Philly Godfather?
Yeah, the line originally opened up Miami minus 2.5. It's crossed over that key number of 3. Sitting at 3.5 at most shops, but there's still a couple threes out there, minus 25 cents. Total opened up at 51. It's up to 52.5. Bet splits basically 50-50 in both the U.S. and offshore market. Now, from a handicapping standpoint, I think Miami is simply the more complete team. I mean, the Hurricanes rank higher than Ole Miss on offense and defense and have faced a tougher strength of schedule this season. Defensively, Miami has been outstanding in the playoffs. They held Ohio State and Texas A&M, both top 20 teams in yards per play and top 25 in scoring to just 17 combined points. When it comes to ball security, it's huge in games like this. I've talked about it all year, and Miami has a clear edge, ranking 11th in turnover margin compared to Ole Miss. That comes in at 64th. I think Miami has also beaten the better competition in the playoffs with wins over A&M and Ohio State, while Ole Miss beat Tulane and a Georgia team that really wasn't close to what we've seen in recent years. Only concern of mine back in the Hurricanes here is Carson Beck's interception numbers. I think he's got like 10 on the season, but Ole Miss defense hasn't really been able to generate much pressure all season. I think they're ranked like 65th in sacks per game. And Miami's offensive line might be the best in the nation. But I still think this game's going to be close. It's going to hover right around this number. If you can get Miami at minus 2.5, I suggest you play it. This Ole Miss team can put up points. They play a defense comparable to Miami's this year in Oklahoma, and they had 431 total yards of offense, and they beat them 34-26. If you can't find a 3 or 2.5, this is a game you might be able to middle. I mean, Ole Miss at plus 3.5 offers some value, but I like Miami better at minus 2.5. And what I like even better than that is the over. I went over 51. If you can go over 52, I think you still cash a ticket there.
Over 51 as well. Taking the Canes, you can get it down to, if you can get it at 2.5. We'll see. There are some 3s and some 3.5s out there. No question about it. All right, let's move on to game number 2. This will be Friday night. It is Oregon and Indiana. Your thoughts?
Yeah, the Hoosiers looked dominant last week, but the price on this matchup continues to drop. It opened up Indiana minus 4.5. It's down to 3.5. It's probably going to close 3 by kickoff. Total opened up at 47.5. It's basically stagnant, still staying at 47.5. That splits, however, they're really heavily tilted towards the Hoosiers here. Over 65% of the early action is on Indiana in both the U.S. and offshore markets. Honestly, I think this game is a coin flip, Rick. I got a slight lean towards Indiana to win outright. But with that said, at the current price of 3.5, I think the right side is Oregon plus the points. The Ducks are battle tested. They entered the playoffs with the second toughest strength of schedule of any team in the playoffs this year. Ball security, Oregon has been almost as careful with the football as Indiana. I think they're ranked like 13th in turnover margin this season. Indiana, obviously, number 1. Offensively, Oregon's metrics kind of mirror Indiana's in yards per play, and defensively the same holds true. I think the game's a coin flip here. If you get plus 3.5 on Oregon, I think it's the right side, even though Indiana has the better quarterback in Mendoza.
Yeah, and we saw last week it's tough in the college game to beat a team twice in 1 year. That happened with Georgia and Mississippi. Same deal coming up here now Friday night with Oregon and Indiana. All right, how do our listeners get a hold of you there, Philly Godfather?
Yeah, you can follow me on X, Twitter, at Philly Godfather. And the website is thephillygodfather.com.
All right, let's go to Pittsburgh, man. The theatrics there Monday night. Some really bad football, some bad coaching as well between Pittsburgh and Baltimore. Now it's Houston. They have the longest win streak in the NFL. They've won 9 in a row. They go to Pittsburgh Monday night. How do you see it?
Yeah, game opened up Texans -3. It reached as high as -3.5 before there was some resistance in the market, and it's back down to 3. Houston -3 as of right now, last time I checked. No movement on the total. It's basically 39.5 across the board. Early action has been fairly balanced with the Texans drawing about 55% of the bets. Both teams ranked in the top 5 in turnover differential, which is huge in a close game like this. However, Houston appears to be the more complete team on both sides of the football. They rank 8 spots higher than Pittsburgh in DVOA. The Texans also ranked 9 spots better than the Steelers in net yards per play this season. Offensively, Pittsburgh is slightly better in yards per play, but the biggest disparity between these teams is on the defensive side of the football. I mean, Houston's defensive metrics are clearly superior. And if you look at the Steelers, anytime they face a top 10 defense, they went 2-5 straight up this year. They lost to the Seahawks, Packers, and Chargers. They beat the Vikings, but that was when Carson Wentz was the quarterback and he threw 2 interceptions, and they split with the Browns this year. So anytime they face a top 10 defense, they've had issues. I like the Texans here. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is battle-tested, but if you can get the Texans at -160 on the money line, maybe buy the 0.5 point and lay the 2.5 on Houston, I think they win the game.
Yeah. All right, interesting. I mean, Pittsburgh really gutted it up, I thought, late in the game. Defensively, despite everything that Derrick Henry did, so successful, but then they just broke down in the back half of their defense and allowed those 2 Zay Flower touchdowns. So I tend to agree with you. We know Pittsburgh really has struggled in the playoffs. Houston to win on the road if you can get them at -160. I like that money line. Let's wrap it up here. Jacksonville and Buffalo, Philly Godfather, Sunday at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, the Bills, they're 1.5 point road favorites. Total set at 52. But honestly, Rick, I think the wrong team is favored here. I mean, the Jags team has the highest health score of any team in the NFL this weekend. They're holding a +10 health advantage in pass defense and an overall +7 health advantage over the Bills this week. Jacksonville also ranks higher than Buffalo in season-long DVOA. And defensively, the Jags have 9 more interceptions and 11 more takeaways on the year. And that's big in the playoffs. Their run defense also ranks 25 spots higher in opponent yards per rush attempt. And you got to run the ball in the playoffs to win these games and to hold on to the lead. Anytime betting against Josh Allen, it's pretty scary. And this Bills offense does rank 14 spots higher than Jacksonville's in yards per play. But with that said, both teams offensively are averaging right around 28 points per game. And this Jags defense, man, maybe the 4th or 5th best unit in the postseason this year. I think the Jags are the more complete team, the healthier team, the right side to invest in here. I like the Jags +1.5. I also took a nibble on them at 14-1 to win the Super Bowl. They're peaking at the right time, and if the Jags can beat the best quarterback in the AFC this weekend, I think the sky's the limit.
Wow, 14-1. It was 80-1 before the season began.
Yeah, crazy number. And, we were big on them. We went over 6.5 wins, over 7.5 wins.
Oh, yeah.
I actually took them at plus 300 to win the division. I never expected them to be this good.
No. And you cashed those 6.5 and 7s before Thanksgiving on the win total, so it's been a great year. But again, I mean, an 80-1 back in August to win the Super Bowl. I don't think anyone. I'm not aware of anyone who had that, and we'll see. We check receipts here. All right, hey, Philly Godfather, give our listeners the best way to get your book.
Yeah, you go to phillybook.com or you go to Amazon. And the website's thephillygodfather.com, and you can follow me on Twitter at phillygodfather. And as always, good luck and keep firing, guys.
All right, man. Hey, always a lot of fun. Thank you, Philly Godfather.
Good luck, guys.
There he goes. Laying it down for you there. Over 51, minus 2.5 tomorrow night. The U over Mississippi. Carson Beck, all those starts against the guy who was what? Division II last year, junior college.
Division II the last 3 years.
Gosh, man.
D2 Heisman.
Just insane. And, boy, that game tomorrow night is going to be a whole heck of a lot of fun. He likes Oregon plus 3.5. Again, it's hard. I think Indiana's the better team, but the better team doesn't always win, right? We'll see. Pittsburgh is going to play the money line, minus 160. So you got to give up a little, and who cares about the 3, right? All you got to do is win by 1. You got to lay the 160 to win 100 against Pittsburgh. And again, that stat I threw out at the beginning of the program. Pittsburgh has been outscored in the last 6 first quarters of playoff football. 72-0. 72-0. If you like to play first half lines or things along those particular ways. Buffalo with Jacksonville. He likes the Jags plus 1.5. He's also now hopped on to win the Super Bowl at 14-1. He did pick them to win the division. He also picked them over. He had him at 6.5 at one point and got him at 7. So he has been very successful with that. Something we don't talk about a lot around here, even though I just went through everything as far as the injury report. There is statistical categories on this. I've said often that when the Jaguars made the playoffs back in 2022, they were in an incredibly healthy football team in Trevor Lawrence's second year. Let me see if I still have that, or perhaps did I get rid of it? I guess I can't find it. I'm sorry. I thought I still had that for you. But if you look at the difference, maybe I'll find that during the break, of who's available and starts that have been missed so far this year. Here we go. Okay. Jacksonville finished 30th out of 32 teams out of most games missed. Now, this is a positive. Being ranked 30 in this category is a way of saying that they were the third best as far as games missed. They missed 143. All right. Travis Hunter obviously missed a lot, what have you. The Bills finished second in the NFL. They missed 281 starts in games. So the Bills have missed 281. The Jags have missed 143. Again, it's not something that you openly talk about. I think those who are so invested when it comes to wagering that they look at absolutely everything, it includes this. And we just went through it. I mean, you got 16 guys on the Bills injury report. Jaguars have what, 6? 2 didn't go today. Cole Van Lannon and also Jarian Jones was ill. All right, we got much more to do. 641-1010 text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. As well, you can get us on YouTube tonight. Just log on to YouTube. Go to 1010XL into the night.
Get bowl game play-by-play on 1010XL.
It's 2 teams looking for their first Fiesta Bowl win and a shot at the national championship. Miami and Ole Miss. Tomorrow at 7 on 1010 AM.
Ballou here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Here you can see.
I'm Chris Campione. Veterans have given so much in the service of our country, but when it comes to legal challenges, you shouldn't have to fight alone. At Campione Law, we're here to help veterans like you get the support and compensation you deserve. Whether it's a workplace injury, a personal injury claim, or navigating a veteran's disability claim, we'll stand by your side every step of the way. Your service to our country matters. Let us serve you with the dedication and respect you deserve. Call Campione Law for a free consultation today. Campione Law, fighting for veterans, fighting for justice. Visit CampioneLaw.com.
Campione Law. This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On January 7, 2003, Kobe Bryant makes a then NBA record 12 three-pointers, including 9 straight, in an LA Lakers victory over the Seattle Supersonics.
Hey, Hicken here. Leave all the 2025 dirt and celebrate the new year with our friends from Zero Res. Carpets, tile, hardwood, LVP, area rugs, upholstery. Basically every surface in your home can be Zero Resified. Time to call the cleaning pros at Zero Res, and don't forget about your air ducts. Zero Res has a 4.9 rating on Google with more than 8,000 reviews. Bring in the new year with 20% off carpet and upholstery cleaning, plus take $100 off your air duct cleaning when you mention 1010XL. 287-5727 or book online at ZeroResJacksonville.com.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
PRI Productions is the official game day production partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hi, I'm Randy Goodwin, president and owner of PRI Productions. Chances are, if you've been in Jacksonville over the last 30 years, you've seen our work, from corporate and social events to concert production and much more. We have the equipment and expertise to make your next event memorable. So call the experts at the Jaguars Call. PRI Productions, bringing your ideas to life.
Anytime you've got major plumbing problems, and even the minor ones, there's several potential causes, and they usually can't be easily detected. So don't guess at a solution. Hire Roland Reese Plumbing at PlumbingJacksonville.com.
Staying active no matter your age is key to living life at its fullest. Rebound Rehabilitation wants you to know they can get you back up to speed and back in the game pain-free. Rebound Rehabilitation with a dozen locations across the First Coast with top-of-the-line therapists ready to assist you. Neck and back pain, hip, knee, or foot pain, they can help. Excellent patient care combined with the highest quality and rehabilitation services. Look for a Rebound Rehab location near you and get back in the game. ReboundRehab.com.
What race car driver won 27 times in one season?
When your homeowner's insurance policy is up for renewal, it's a good idea to shop around to find a better plan. Southern Oak Insurance for over 20 years provides Floridians a clear option. SouthernOak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Richard Petty, the King, won 200 times in his career, including 27 times in 1967.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
This is the home of the Florida Gators. Get your Gators hoops on 1010XL. Brought to you by the personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah, Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville, and Renewal by Anderson, custom windows and doors. 1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Getting a ton of suggestions on where Bill's Mafia should go. Some of this stuff you just can't make up. Some of it I'm a little bit worried about mentioning. First of all, I'm not into giving free plugs, especially on the top billing radio station in Duval. That ain't gonna happen. But a couple of these others I've Googled, and again, I'll stack pads. I will. I'm like, let me mention a Buffalo goaltender for you. How about a guy I played hockey with growing up? Tom Barrasso, a Hall of Famer. One of 4 members of our high school team who went on to the NHL, Bob Sweeney, Jeff Norton, and before me, a kid by the name of Bob Brook. All 4 made it, but Tom Barrasso went to the Hall of Fame. He won Stanley Cups with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Barrasso was 2 years older than me. I believe he still is. But he's just been nominated, and he's actually been, already introduced into the National Hockey League Hall of Fame. 6971 says, Ballou, I put $25 on the Jags to win the Super Bowl after the preseason. Dylan, we need receipts here. We need to see this type of documentation. Everything is right there. Send it to us, and I'll buy you all the beer that you can drink, okay? And when the Jaguars win the Super Bowl, you can turn around and return the favor. I find it hard to believe that anyone out there, and I'm not trying to diminish our great listeners, it's just, let's be honest here. They were 4-13 a year ago. People didn't pick them to win the Super Bowl.
No, they probably didn't bet before the season, but I would expect a couple of Jags fans at least halfway through the year, they probably threw a $20 or $50 bill at it and, just let it ride out.
Yeah. We'll see. You got any ones that are, before we hit to the break here, and ones that are good? Again, we don't want to plug non-spending businesses here. It doesn't work that way. Okay. And some of these restaurants or some of these bars may actually be considered very cool place. I mean, I see about 10 or 12 that I'm like, man, I've been there. Someone mentioned the Blue Crab House. Actually, one of the regulars at the Blue Crab House is a diehard Buffalo Bills fan. And I talk with him often. When I was there on Christmas Eve, I saw him. I was there with my GF, and I was there with my my oldest daughter. I need to get back out there. I mean, no other place I'd rather be than here. But you realize there's still 2 hours of availability at the Blue Crab House, and you have dollar steamed oysters until 9 o'clock. It's right off of San Jose, and it's located there on Julington Creek Road. Okay. Let's get ready for our final hour. Let's do that. We're going to bring in John Osher. Let's get the very latest from him, get his opinion on everything. I keep getting asked again and again and again and again and again, who am I picking? I'm going to make my prediction on Friday, okay? I'm going to give you my score on Friday. But I'll be the first to tell you right now, I'm riding this wave. And I don't know if this wave is off of Michler's. I don't know if it somehow hit the intracoastal. I don't know if this wave is under the Fuller Warren, okay, in the St. Johns River. I don't know if it's the retention pond in my backyard over in Bartram Springs. But I'm riding a wave. And you're going to have to convince me at this point not to pick the Jaguars.
Flipping flapjacks and football on your game day.
I smell bacon.
On the Terminix Kickoff Show. Live from Tailgaters Parking. Presented by Campione Law and American Electrical Contracting. 5 hours before kickoff on 1010XL.
Hi, folks. It's Frank Frangie. All those festive holiday feasts probably have added a few extra pounds, but here's the thing. You can make this the year you finally lose the weight safely and for good. Now, you know by now my daughter Amber kicked off the journey with Awaken 180 weight loss back in the summer. You ready for this? She's lost 100 pounds in 6 months. Man, is she proud of that. 100 pounds. And she really did it with this really, really good plan. There's no shots, no medications, no supplements, just real food and a proven plan. That's right. With Awaken 180, you can still enjoy your favorite food and drink. No more yo-yo diets or feeling deprived. The structured program empowers you to control your eating without hunger. It really is doable. Don't just resolve to make the change. Make the change. Call Awaken 180 today and take that first small step. Book your consultation now, 1-844-346-1800, or visit awaken180weightloss.com. It worked for Amber. It really did. and it can work for you. Awaken 180 weight loss.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Listen to whatever you like, whenever you want.
I like this.
1010XL on demand. Ad-free shows after the live shows end. Channeled by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning. Search where you find podcasts.
Finding the right plumber to reline your cast iron pipes doesn't have to be a stressful experience. When you hire Superior Plumbing and Pipelining, you can rest assured you're getting the best in the industry. At Superior Plumbing and Pipelining, we're so confident in our work that we encourage you to get multiple estimates. Look at each company's reviews and check the scope of their pipelining work to make sure it's what you're expecting. But at the end of the day, make the superior choice. Superior Plumbing and Pipelining. Request a free estimate at superiorplumbingjax.com.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, we know not every injury happens on Sundays. Sometimes it's flag football, weekend yard work, or just playing with your kids. That's why we built a team of fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeons, experts in everything from knees and shoulders to spine and sports injuries. Whether you're chasing championships or chasing your dog, we've got you. Learn more at osjax.com. That's osjax.com.
This football season, Hurricane Grill and Wings is your game day getaway. Catch every play with the perfect drink in hand. Handcrafted cocktails like the Millionaire Margarita, Spicy Guavarita, Old Fashioned, or the Red Bullerita. Beer more your style to watch the games? Enjoy an ice cold Bud Light. Game day cocktails and Bud Light specials are here all season long at Hurricane Grill and Wings. Find a restaurant near you at hurricanewings.com.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. When pests invade your home or business, you don't just need them out, you need them out fast. And you need to keep them out. At Terminix, they'll show up for you and eliminate pests quicker, just like they did at my house, because they care about what matters most to you. When pests show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a pest problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. That's right, Terminix it.
At Hollis Pools, building a pool is personal. We sit down with you, listen to your vision, and bring your backyard dreams to life right here in Northeast Florida. Working with us doesn't feel like working with a contractor. It feels like working with family. Every Hollis Pools project supports Project Savior Outdoors, helping bring hope to our veterans. Visit HollisPools.com. Hollis Pools, your vision, your pool, your escape. License number CPC 1461233.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. It's time for Oh No's with Jaguars.com's John Osher. Oh No's. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Served up by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
I have to make an apology. I'm told now Bill's Mafia will not be at Piccadilly Cafe to get ready for the game. Instead, they're going to be at Hooters on Southside. Oh, the Rooster on Phillips Highway. There you go. Let's bring in our good buddy. He is John Osher, senior writer, Jaguars.com. Of course, he knows where to go. That is Twin Peaks. And our report is always brought to you by one of our favorite establishments. John, how are you?
Rick, playoff time, buddy.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Josh Allen's been one of the great quarterbacks of the last 7 years. He's never won a road game. Sean McDermott has never won a road game. Heck, they haven't won one since 1992 in Miami in the AFC Championship game. How much of a factor do you think that is?
Well, I mean, it probably shows you don't want to be playing them on their home stadium. I mean, yeah, you want this game at home. I think for the Jaguars, it feels like the weather will be fairly friendly. So look, you always want to be at home. I think the crowd's going to be jacked. It's in the standing room only. So it's a factor. You can't depend on it because these guys are good. And Josh Allen can win games, not by himself, but, we sort of overuse that term, a guy lifts a team on his back. He's one of the guys who can legitimately do it. So I'd rather have him not playing than be at home.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Hey, one question from a year ago, then let's move ahead. But you and I were in Buffalo last year. It was 47-10. Can you just have you given that thought about what that was like, a year and a half ago, not a year and a half ago, but a few months ago, just getting blown out? Even it looked like at times Jacksonville had quit compared to what they're going to do here coming up in 4 days.
Well, I like Liam's answer. Hey, did you look at that game? He was like, no. And I thought that was really kind of fitting because as you asked me about it, I haven't even considered that game because it was just such a different team. Who cares? Feels like a different world than this team. It would be hard for a team to be more different than this team is from that team. But it does speak to, look, the defense has got it right. The defense was awful that night, awful last year. They didn't look prepared in that game. I do think there was probably, I don't want to say quitting, but look, they didn't come close to stopping them in that game. And I do think there was a feeling on part of some defensive players, hey, we're not doing the right stuff. And we know we're not doing the right stuff. And that showed that. It felt like that showed that night where they're like, okay, yeah, we know this isn't going to work.
Mm-hmm.
And they fought through it a lot last year. They tried. But, yeah, I think that was a benchmark game in terms of, okay, this is not going to work. And I think everybody sort of knew it after that, even if they didn't want to know it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Power against power. We understand that Buffalo far and away has the number one rushing offense in the NFL. The Jaguars have been number one for quite some time, and they remain number one when it comes to their rushing defense. What gives in this matchup on Sunday?
Well, I expect the Bills. Jaguars have allowed 85, 86 yards a game. And they haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher. I wouldn't be surprised if Cook gets 100. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bills go over that mark of 85 because this team runs the ball really, really well. If you listen to Liam Cohen today, the respect he had for James Cook's ability in some specific schemes was notable. Liam really knows the running game, so he knows what great looks like. I think the key, Rick, the Bills are going to have 9 or 10 drives, 8 or 9, whatever the number is. I expect them to run effectively a couple of times and have a couple of drives where you're like, wow, they can really run. What they can't do is have that number be 4 or 5 drives.
Mm-hmm.
If they run well early, get it fixed. When Buffalo adapts and runs well again, get it fixed again. You just can't let the Bills' running game define the game. But you also have to accept, I think they're going to have yards because they're really good at it, and they depend on it a lot. So just don't let them control the game with it.
I did listen to Liam Cohen today, and he went off on James Cook in a very, positive way, as he should. I mean, I think every coach would. But then there's the Josh Allen effect and what he's able to do as a rushing quarterback, both picking up first downs and touchdowns. But Buffalo has 547 rushing attempts, 495 passing attempts. I don't know if there's another playoff team or another team in the league that has more rushing attempts. Maybe you know the answer to that question. I don't, but
I don't.
If you can contain them, they got 2 really good tight ends. We know that Jacksonville has struggled a little bit against tight ends, but still, Lloyd has 5 picks. Now Antonio Johnson has 5 picks. It doesn't feel like they have a dominant wide receiver, and I think that's very noticeable right now for the Bills.
Yeah, I think the key for this game for the Jaguars is you've got to score with them. And their offense is good enough that they can score with Buffalo's. So, look, score with them. Realize that James Cook's probably going to get some yards. And Josh Allen's probably going to have a few plays where got him 3rd and 8, and he gets out, and they get a field goal out of that drive. And you're like, man, they gave up an opportunity there. But stop them in the running game on 3 or 4 series, enough to force him into long down and distance on 3 or 4 series, and get off the field more often than not when you have a chance to get off the field.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think realistically you're going to hold this team when it's focused, meaning the Bills, to 17 points. But you're going to have opportunities to make him make mistakes. You're going to have opportunities to make him. We've all seen Josh Allen, and to me, he's one of the best 2 or 3 players in the league. But there are times where he'll take long sacks, trying to do too much. He'll throw you the ball every now and then. Take advantage of the situations where you get them in trouble, and then once you get them in trouble and get them off the field, go score and make them pay for it. I expect this game to be a 34-26 type of game. I absolutely expect the Jaguars will win this game, but I think the key will be, Rick, they must score, meaning the Jaguars, when they have the ball in the Bills' red zone. You can't have end zone turnovers against this team and regret it. And then you have to get off the field against the Bills' offense when you have the opportunity.
Final moment with senior writer from Jaguars.com, John Osher, joins us each and every Wednesday night here at 7 o'clock with Rick Ballou. All right, same question, other side of the football. Let's wrap with this. Jacksonville has struggled somewhat during the second half of the season running the football. The Bills are number 1 against the pass as far as their defense. They are really weak when it comes to their rushing defense, 28th in the NFL. Can Jacksonville run the football at Buffalo?
I think they can run. I don't expect them to run 180. I don't expect them to just be Katie bar the door. Here's where I think with that. I think the Jaguars are good enough running, and the Bills struggle enough at it where the Bills will have to really focus on stopping the run because they know Liam wants to run. I think once they really focus on stopping the run, they're a little beat up in the secondary. I also think – I don't know that it matters right now how good you are against the pass against the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars are better. So I think the way Trevor Lawrence is playing and as deep as the receiving core is, as long as the weather is good, I think the Jaguars can pass on anybody, including the Bills, as good as the Bills are. So I think they will make the Bills want to stop the run, take advantage of that, and I think the Jaguars score a lot of points Sunday because I think the Jaguars have scored a lot of points for 8 games in a row, except when they have cost themselves. You know, they had turnovers in the red zone against Arizona and the Colts. Those are the only 2 games they haven't scored effectively. Score when you have your opportunities and then win the game.
Yeah, it's a fair point. And we know their margin of victory during this 8-game win streak has been almost 20 points, 9.1. Absolutely
And the only
sensational.
times they haven't won by 14, Rick, are when they have committed red zone turnovers against the Colts and Arizona.
Yep.
If the Jaguars play their game, they will win.
Yeah, and you mentioned that out of the last 6 games combined, Lawrence and Allen, that's the only turnover in the last 6 games.
Right.
I
expect it to be a high-scoring game, but I honestly, it's not because I cover them. I think the Jags are better. I think they're the best team in the AFC right now.
I think a lot of our listeners agree with that. John, always a lot of fun. I'll see you over there tomorrow at the Miller Electric Center. Thank you.
Look forward to it, buddy. We'll see you.
There he goes. Looking forward to getting over there as well on a Thursday, getting some fresh sounds, some interviews, which we'll play tomorrow night, 6 to 8. Buffalo ran it 547 times this year, passed it 495 times. I've been talking about the Jaguars' balance all year long. Jacksonville threw it 563 times. They ran it 489 times. I read this. I'm not going to blame the Buffalo Bills media here. Instead, I'm going to go to, I don't know what particular gaming service I read it at, but it was fascinating to me because they described the Bills' offensive line as elite, okay? And we know they're the number 1 rushing offense in the NFL. And then they went on to say the Jaguars' offensive line has struggled because they've allowed 41 sacks to Trevor Lawrence, all right? 6th highest in the NFL. So I did a little digging. 41 sacks on Lawrence. You know how many sacks this year on Josh Allen?
I think it's the same, isn't it?
40.
Yeah.
Okay? You know how many more passing attempts for Trevor Lawrence compared to Josh Allen?
Man. I want to say Josh has more, but he didn't play that last game.
Well, let's take that into consideration, right? But it's actually 100 more for Trevor Lawrence.
Wow.
560 passing attempts, 41 sacks, sixth highest, yet Buffalo dropped back 460 times, and another 35 times with Mitch Trubisky, and they were sacked one less time, yet they're calling the Buffalo Bills offensive line elite and saying that Jacksonville is very subpar. Now, part of that comes with the equation that Jacksonville has struggled to run the football this year. But again, and usually gaming services, when they provide you with information, do a little bit better of a job with that. I'll tell you another one. We got to hit this break. I'll tell you another one I saw today that just blew me away. Said that, Trevor struggles against great defenses. And I'm like, oh, really? Okay, well, can you document that for me? Oh, yes, we can. He threw under 200 yards, they said, against Houston and against Los Angeles. So I looked up the Texans in the 19-point blown lead. He was 13-23 for 158 yards, a touch, a pick. He was sacked 5 times, had a quarterback rating of 74.2. So then I imagine, they got blown out, right, by the Los Angeles Rams. So I looked that up. He was 23 of 48 for 296. He was sacked 7 times. 74.7 was his quarterback rate. So that wasn't it. So I'm like, you're not talking about the other LA here, are you? Well, in fact, I am. And what was that? What was the score of that game? Like 35-7 when Jacksonville
against the Chargers?
Yeah.
35-6.
35-6. They said that Trevor struggled against a great defense in which they scored 35 points. Trevor went 14 of 22 for 153, a quarterback rating of 80.3. They ran the ball 47 times for 192 yards. And the information that they're selling is that Trevor struggled against this great defense with the Chargers. He couldn't even throw for 200 yards.
No respect.
It's unbelievable. I mean, people are just making stuff up. Yeah, I've never been a, fact checker to that extreme, right? But come on, people. I mean, you feed, and I understand there's a lot of really gullible people out there. There are some people out there that are only going to look at a clip, are only going to look at a reel, that aren't going to read the entire previews, that aren't going to go deep into the articles. You're going to look for a snippet. I get it. Yeah, you're working full time. You don't have the opportunity to dive into this stuff. I do. I do it each and every day. I can't believe some of the faulty just flat out wrong information that is being produced prior to this football game. I'll get over it, but I'm also going to correct. All right. Jacksonville, Buffalo. We move on. Your thoughts next.
When the hourglass runs out of sand, 1010XL puts time back on the clock. Hacker Leon and Coach Gerald Ingram bring you the window world of Northeast Florida 5th quarter, flavored by Hurricane Grill and Wings and Apex Roofing and Contracting.
Looking for a dealership that treats you like family? Come to Key Buick GMC, proudly family owned and operated since 1943. Come see why they are North Florida's new and pre-owned truck center, conveniently located on Southside and JTB, just minutes from the St. John's Town Center. At Key Buick GMC, every new vehicle comes with their lifetime powertrain warranty. Key Buick GMC, where tradition meets trust. Online at keybuickgmc.com. Lifetime powertrain warranty covers engine, transmission, drivetrain only. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On January 7, 2003, Kobe Bryant makes a then NBA record 12 three-pointers, including 9 straight, in an LA Lakers victory over the Seattle Supersonics.
This is Mark Nato. My son Justin injured his hand playing baseball for JU. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists performed surgery just a few days later, and within 5 weeks, he was cleared to play in the ASUN baseball tournament. Our family has trusted Southeast Orthopedic Specialists for years. For any orthopedic injury, let Southeast Orthopedic Specialists take care of you too.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This is Hayes Carline with your playoff perspective, brought to you by Harrell & Harrell. Buffalo has started slow this season, getting outscored by 11 in the first half. However, in the second half, the Bills are outscoring teams by 127. The Jaguars have outscored teams by 148 points through the first 3 quarters of this season, but have been outscored by 14 in the fourth quarter. The Jags need to build a 2-possession lead heading into Sunday's fourth quarter. That's your playoff perspective, brought to you by Harrell & Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
It's January. You turn on the hot water, expecting steam, and you get let down. That's usually a sign your tankless water heater is loaded with mineral buildup, slowing it down and wearing it out before it's time. So Duck Rooter is kicking the new year off strong with a Start Fresh Tankless Flush. Their experienced technicians flush and clean your tankless system, restoring performance and getting you back in the game. Right now, get your tankless water heater flushed and cleaned for just $99, 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
This is Hayes Carline for First Florida Credit Union. I bank with First Florida Credit Union because I trust them. I can always count on them when it comes to the vast services they provide. The online banking services are outstanding. So easy to use, depositing checks through the mobile app is fast and efficient. First Florida Credit Union was voted Best Credit Union in the Best of Bold City Community Choice Awards for 3 years running, and it's easy to see why. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
Truth Teller here, and I've solved all of your holiday problems and stress. A gift card from the Blue Crab House. Get this, you buy a $50 gift card, and you get an additional $15 card for free. It's that simple, and as always at the Blue Crab House, the best crabs in Jacksonville, oysters, and seafood, period. Blue Crab House, open every day except for Monday, off of San Jose on Jewington Creek Road.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify. 1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, let's get some of your feedback on YouTube. Love the crazies there. I just want to party with them. No one ever invites me out. GF out of town. She told me to go play. You know how I play? I watched the latest on John Gacy, the latest documentary. They also made it into like a mini series. Some pretty cool acting. I thought the guy who played Gacy, he reminded me of Doug Marrone.
How so?
No, Gacy was like perhaps the friendliest serial killer that we've ever seen. He would he actually invited the cops in after they already had a warrant. They found nothing. They were cold outside. He invited them in, got them drinks, all this, and then one had to use the lavatory. While he was in there, the heat kicked on. They could smell the odor from where he had buried the bodies underneath. So he would have gotten caught anyway.
Right.
But he was just a real friendly guy. Doug Marrone was I really like Doug Marrone a lot. He used to have a barbecue every year for us, invite us over. He and his wife, who's fantastic, very tight with, who am I thinking of here? Bill O'Brien and his wife. They were roommates at BC. Both of the ladies were. And I just always really liked Doug Marrone. But this guy who they cast reminded me of Doug Marrone. I mean, Doug Marrone's bigger and more physical. You know, Gacy was kind of on the pudgy side. But anyway, that's what I've been doing. So I haven't been out running and ripping. I've been sitting at home, you know, just watching sports, watched the Bruins lose last night to the Seattle Kraken.
Did you watch the FCS football championship on Monday night?
I did not.
I saw the fourth quarter. That was probably some of the best football all year. Went down to the wire in overtime.
Yeah.
Montana State pulled it out.
All right. So it's some pretty good stuff there. I enjoyed it whenever I can learn. I am happy. CRS092 on YouTube. Ballou, Trevor ain't scared of the Bills' pass defense. He knows where to thread it. Duval 23. The Bills like to play too high safety. The too high safety look. Trevor's fourth in the league against too high safety looks. I appreciate that. He's also seventh highest per completion against too high safeties. Mr. Know-It-All goes on to say, that's what I hate about sports media nowadays, where any Tom, Dick, or Harry can have a platform and say what you want with no facts. But Rick, at the same time, a lot of your coworkers have been doing the same BS, and you never call them out. So, hey, it is what it is. Mr. Know-It-All, the last time I called out a listener, I got disciplined and moved to nights. Okay. That was 7 years ago. All right. Somehow, somewhere, I was told you should probably be fired, but I'm going to move you to nights. Now we have the program freaking sold out, for crying out loud.
And no one's
And
here.
it's been sold out forever. I'm talking about radio ads. Are you kidding me? It's the best move that ever happened. I'm never moving back to mornings or afternoons. It's into the night until the very end. And with that said, you, Dylan Denmark, you're leaving the radio station.
Yeah, next week I'm going to be my last week here. So, of course, of all years, the Jags are going to go on a playoff run, and I feel confident they're going to make at least the AFC Championship, and I'll have to leave in the middle of it. But
we're going to miss you. I enjoyed working with you.
Yeah, you as well. All the shows I've worked with, the Jaguars Today, this show, and Hacker. Very appreciative of everyone, but I'm moving on and doing a different career.
All right, so do you want to share what you're going to do yet, or is that still under wraps?
I'm gonna continue coaching, track and football, and I'm gonna just be a teacher for the time being.
All right. Well, you've done great work. You still have tonight, tomorrow night, Friday night, next week, and I think I speak for our listeners. We're all going to miss your effort. I mean, it's not easy to do one show. You did 3 shows.
Yes. It is a lot. And I know what I signed up for with the gig, and, you know, it's sports media is cool, but, you know, this was my dream job, always was, and I scratched that itch, and I know what it's like, and just ready to do something different.
All right. We wish you the best. No doubt about it. Whole Merchant says, Rick trying to put jet fuel on the fire. And I love it. Okay. Moondark Sid says, Boogie, what does your therapist say about your fascination with serial killers? Bro, so many people are fascinated with serial killers and true crime. Why every other station, it's either a series on it, a documentation on it, fiction on it. I mean, just look around. I'm a criminology graduate. I absolutely loved learning about all of this stuff, and it's still my go-to when I get away from sports. It's classic rock, and it's the mob, and it's true crime. I wouldn't say I'm fascinated about it. You know, I'm not going to go, you know, find their graves and drink a bottle of whiskey there and, you know, sleep next to that. No, I'm just to make someone do that, what really goes through their mind. That's what gets me. And it's next to impossible to do nowadays, folks. Don't be stupid. You're going to get caught. Okay? Surveillance is absolutely everywhere. It's unavoidable. You're going to get caught. I mean, it took, who was the latest one that got a ton of pub? Oh, the MIT.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was Brown out in Providence, Rhode Island. Then it went to a MIT professor. And, you know, he ended up taking his life. But between forensics and certainly surveillance, now maybe the very best are like, oh, yeah? Yeah, I've gone place to place to place and pulled it off, but I don't think it can happen anymore.
I think the only way it would even be somewhat achievable, and I saw this because it popped up on the YouTube algorithm the other day, like if you live off the grid and you don't rely on any electricity or anything like that, and you just live out way out in the middle of the sticks, might be achievable for some time. But I feel like eventually technology would catch up with you and you'd still get it.
If like someone wanted to knock me off here in the parking lot, okay, you may succeed, but you're going to get caught because there's surveillance all over the place, not only around here.
Your phone as well.
But the streets leading here. So there you go. You want to call it a fascination? You can call it a fascination. 3037 says, Ballou, send the Bills Mafia to the Jacksonville landing. Yeah, that may be the best. Send them to the Arby's on South Side, says the 6159. That gaming analyst sounds like it came from AI. No person fact-checked it. Oh, you're not talking about the Philly Godfather. You're talking about what I was talking about as far as the elite offensive line. I would agree with you. Yeah, maybe it did, and I'm sure AI comes into huge play now. I mean, algorithms and analytics. Man, no. You know, maybe that's the way to make cash. Maybe just stay true to the computer, and whatever it spits out, regardless of what your head is telling you, play it. I would never have the discipline to do that. Of course, I'm talking as if I would actually go out there and bet. But no. Can't do that. 4 out of the 6 road teams are favored this weekend in the NFL. All right, that's something that you may not be aware of, including Carolina, who is the biggest home underdog in the history of the playoffs, and all 6 games are being played outdoors for the first time since 2007.
I haven't heard that. We talk about the disrespect card being the 1-point underdog at home. Carolina already beat L.A., and they're still a 10.5-point dog at home, which, I mean, I still feel like that's, correct. I mean, the Rams are a much better team than them. Doesn't mean they can't lose. But, yeah, I do feel like if a lot of these road teams do win, that we are inching closer to something where we're just going to take the records, and that's going to be the seeds instead of having the division winners, the top 4, and the wild cards be the next 3.
Right. The Green Bay situation with Chicago's a little weird. They've met twice in the last 5 weeks, and they're going to meet again. The home team won both those games. It sounds to me like there's a tiny bit of tomfoolery going on here, listing the road team as the favorite, where we know out of all the home field advantages, Chicago, I mean, it's not Carolina. Philadelphia's a tough place to play. New England, yeah, but I don't know if it's the same that it once was with Belichick and Brady. Again, this is the first playoff start for Drake May. Pittsburgh, I'd love to give it to them, but they just can't win. They haven't done it in 8 years. I think you got to put Jacksonville right up there as a difficult place to play. And I know that some not here in Duval will question that. But I think in this rivalry, if I was to pick one, I'm going to have to go with Soldier Field against the Green Bay Packers based on recent history.
Yeah, no doubt. And, those are 2 teams that know each other very well. It's going to be dependent, I think, on the Packers' health. They've been so banged up the last month of the season. Jordan Love hasn't played last couple of weeks. That's how that game's going to go.
Not a dominant home team. Jacksonville is the best home team. All right, and again, it says 7-2. That's crap. They're 7-1. London's not a home game, so you can erase the 7-2. The Jags are 7-1 at home. All right, Buffalo's 5-3 on the road. Everything I just said about the Bears. The Bears are 6-2 at home. With Green Bay's 4-1 on the road. The Eagles 5-3 at home. San Francisco 7-2 on the road. Patriots are actually a better road team than they are a home team. Patriots are only 6-3 at home. Chargers going to fly all the way across the country. They're 5-3 on the road. And again, the Steelers 6-3 at home. Texans 5-3 on the road. I mean, these home records: 6-3, 6-3, 5-3, 6-2, 5-3, and I'm saying the Jaguars are 7-1. Outside of Jacksonville, that is not impressive at all as to what the other 5 teams have done in their own stadium this year.
Yeah, did you see the Steelers stat? Someone just brought up on the text line, too, that the Steelers haven't lost a Monday night home game in 23 tries.
Wow.
They've won 23 consecutive home Monday night games.
Incredible. I mean, really, just sensational. And, you know, I watched the game as you did. It was pretty bizarre on Monday night. You know, Derrick Henry got off to that really good start, but I just felt like Pittsburgh really played some solid defense at the line of scrimmage late in that game, and they just allowed. I mean, it's tough to say that when you look at the numbers. Derrick Henry, 20 for 126, but look at what he did in the fourth quarter, and then you just allowed Zay Flowers to totally break contain twice and scored there against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we'll see. Maybe we'll make some picks on Friday. Haven't done that in a little bit, but I think a lot of I'm looking at 3 or 4 real good possibilities of road teams winning this weekend, and I think, you know, across the country, more are going to pick Jacksonville now than they would have 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I mean, they're starting to be forced fed. I mean, Mia Kimes, I guess, came out now and endorsed Jacksonville. I saw that on Twitter. I don't watch ESPN. Stephen A. Smith said it yesterday. David Portnoy said it yesterday. You're starting to get more and more national mouthpieces that are coming out saying, I'm a believer in Jacksonville.
Yeah, and it is still hard to believe that you can still play that underdog card and, you know, say no one believes us, but there is a lot of people out there that believe that Jacksonville is a good team. The few that have watched them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You see, they're up 10%. More than 18 million people per average watch NFL games. That came out a little bit earlier today. I would have thought that it would have been harder to watch games with them, you know, streaming the way that they do. If you know, you're my age, or you're older, and you have cable, you have DirecTV, or whatever it may be, maybe everyone's just adapted to the changes and went out and, you know, I don't even know how it works. I don't handle the bill paying, but don't you have to pay like 3 or 4 different entities now in order to get the NFL?
Amazon Prime and Netflix, and then, you know, your basic cable, which most people, at least, I mean, I'm in my 20s, most people have Netflix and Amazon Prime. So it's not, you know, out of their way. Most people don't have Peacock. Remember the NFL last couple of years, they did that Peacock thing, which sucked.
That's what the Gacy special was on that I binged on the last 2 nights. It's on Peacock, and check it out if you're if you're like me. If you visit your therapist, and she keeps asking me, why are you so fascinated with serial killers? Someone asked me that. I don't know, man. I do not know, to be honest. But so many people do love true crime. It's right up there next to rock and roll for me. And, of course, football, including the Jaguars Sunday against the Bills at 1 o'clock.
Jaguars and Gators, pro, college, and high school sports.
Wow!
Get the most play-by-play on 1010XL, Jacksonville's play-by-play sports radio.
Hear that? That's your ducks begging for help. Now listen, that's the sound of victory. Jeff Prosser here for Lloyd's Heating and Air. Lloyd's now offers professional duct cleaning for homes and businesses across North Florida, helping reduce dust and allergens so you can breathe easier. Family-owned, local, trusted. Call Lloyd's Heating and Air or visit Lloyd'sHeatingandAir.com. Keeping you comfortable in every season.
Been in a car crash? I'm local attorney Rick Alexander, and I've made it our mission at the Alexander Law Practice to listen to you so I can fight for the best possible result for you. I've been practicing over 30 years, and our team focuses on guiding you through the entire process. And because fees and reimbursement costs come out at the end of the case, I will never ask you to come out of pocket. For a free review, call 904-400-6600 or log on to alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
Jeff Lagerman for Napa Auto Care Centers. This football season, make sure your ride can get to that tailgate or travel to the away game safely and dependably. You can trust the ASE certified professionals at any one of the 29 independently owned Napa Auto Care Centers and the quality Napa parts they use. Napa Auto Care Centers can handle everything: oil changes, air conditioning, brakes, engines, transmissions. Napa Auto Care Centers offers a nationwide 24-month, 24,000-mile peace of mind warranty on most repairs. Find one near you at jacksnapaautocare.group.com.
Living on Amelia Island? Having fun in Fernandina Beach? No matter what brings you to the fun, cozy town, make sure you check out the tap room at Mocama Beer Company. With a full flight of craft creations, from the Cosmico IPA to the Motor, the perfect Pilsners and Lagers, matching memories and some Mocama magic is what it's all about. Mocama Beer Company in Fernandina Beach, near the big water where the sun is born. And look for more Mocama craft at your local Total Wine or ABC Liquors.
Join the movement at the Foundation 5000 Saturday, January 17th at UF Health in St. Augustine. The Community 5K supports the UF Health St. John's Foundation Care Connect mobile outreach and clinic, delivering vital medical care to those who need it most. Run or walk with 96 Olympian Keith Brantley, or come enjoy the Asian market, open to runners and non-runners alike. Sign up today at runsignup.com. Search Foundation 5000.
Ballou here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Care you can see.
Hey, it's Angela and Brian Wall. How many companies do you know in this day and age that actually want their potential customers to call their competition and get quotes from them?
That's what WonderWorld wants you to do. WonderWorld knows there are other window companies out there, but we also know those other guys. When compared to WonderWorld, they can't offer you the quality at the price that WonderWorld can.
And with WonderWorld, you get the absolute best guarantee there is in the window replacement business.
If anything goes wrong with your new WonderWorld windows, 5 years from now, 10, 15, 50, WonderWorld and I will be there to fix it for you. You get peace of mind with WonderWorld, and to top it off, WonderWorld windows increase the value of your home. So look what you get with WonderWorld. Quality windows, low price, the best guarantee in the business, energy savings, and an increase in the value of your home. A win-win for you.
Call Window World today and get your free in-home estimate, or see them online at windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
Well, everything today is about health. We got our first injury report. Buffalo has 16 players on the injury report, and that is unavoidable. I don't think there's any question about it. For Jacksonville, the biggest scenario would involve Cole Van Lanen. His knee, he did not participate. Obviously, the guy has been a warrior, playing everywhere across the offensive line this year except for center. We'll get an update tomorrow as well as Friday. I'm under the belief that he is going to play, and that makes a big difference. I think Walker Little, has done an admirable job at left guard. Patrick McCarry is limited still with his back. You're starting right guard for most of the year, but I think you want to stay with that offensive five the way it's been as of late. Jarian Jones, ill today. He did not practice. And then there were four other players who were limited today. Buster Brown with his neck. It was Greg Newsome with a shoulder. Danny Strigow with an elbow and an ankle. And I guess that would be it. That would be, yes, Patrick McCarry with the back. All right, a couple of notables. First off, Josh Allen, who took one snap, came out of the game. He's had a foot. He practiced in full today. All right. The only guy who missed work for their offense was Joshua Palmer, who's basically their third wide receiver next to Shakir and Cooks. Again, it's just really gone away for Keon Coleman. He's barely getting the ball. They brought back Gabe Davis. Tyrell Shavers is there. I mean, it's not a great wide receiving core. The backup back, Ty Johnson, did not practice today for Buffalo. They're starting one of their two starting tight ends, Dalton Kincaid, was limited today. Then you get to the defense, and this is scary. Again, they list depth charts by 12 because they include the nickel, just like on offense. They do it by 12. They include a third wide receiver. 8 of the 12 in Buffalo are on this report. One we know for sure is out. That is rookie corner Maxwell Harrison. That was already announced by Sean McDermott on Monday. Also, not practicing today. 2/3 of their linebacking core. Matt Milano and Terrell Bernard. Shaq Thompson, their third linebacker in their 4-3 base defense, limited today. On the defensive line, 2 force are nicked up. Daquan Jones, limited. Joey Boza did practice in full. Also in the contain, outside of Maxwell Harrison, Jordan Poyer, starting strong safety, was limited. Cole Bishop, starting free safety, practice in full. Backup safety Cam Lewis practiced in full. And one other announcement today for the Buffalo Bills. Damar Hamlin has been on the injured reserve for quite some time. His 21-day window has officially begun, and he was limited today for the Buffalo Bills. Wow, 16 players. And everyone involved is an injury. They might have had one player who was ill, similar to what went on today with Jarian Jones. Yes, Matt Milano, okay, their weak side linebacker, who's a good football player, was ill today. So the flu bug or whatever it may be, it's running through Buffalo, just like it's been running through Jacksonville. Yeah, I mean, seems like every week someone's on there for it. Last week it was, even going back to game time 2 weeks ago, Anton Harrison. I mean, may not sound like a lot, but just think about when you have the flu. If you're really sick, can you imagine playing a football game?
No, low energy.
Conditions?
Yeah, you really can't. I would assume if you're sick like that, you really can't do a lot of things before the game. Not like you would for if you weren't sick, but
one other announcement. He wasn't here long, but you hear about Jordan Shipley, who got caught in a fire out at his ranch in Texas. Jordan Shipley set records when he played with Colt McCoy at Texas. Wide receiver. He was here for a year. I don't know if he was here for the entire year, but he wrapped up his career with the Jaguars, and he was severely burnt. I guess he's in stable condition, but working on his ranch, something happened with one of his machines, and it caught fire, and he was badly burned. So hate to hear that. Also went on the Nugget, if you're not aware. Ty Simpson says he's going to the NFL. So there you go, leaving Alabama.
Yeah, I think he's going to come back. I think he'll test the waters, and then he'll say, yeah, I'm a 4th or 5th grade draft pick. That's what they're projected. I'll come back to college and make $3 million.
I know we got to hit to the break and bring in Hacker, but you just look at the headlines in college football. Ohio State Downs declares for the NFL draft. Simpson declares for the NFL draft. Jackson Arnold leaving Auburn, going to UNLV. Cristobal blames the adults for the portal trickery. Okay, Golding, no message in post given. Ole Miss wins. All right, Ole Miss hires NFL DBs coach Tony as a defensive coordinator. Quarterback Williams hits the portal despite signing his deal with UW. I mean, every single story is about someone packing up and leaving. It's kind of ruined the taste, man. And I have an agenda. A lot of that is because my alma mater is just awful. And I'm not going to lie to you, that affects the way I'm thinking about it. But not tomorrow night and not Friday night. I'll be fired up for both games as we get to the semifinals in college football.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
Custom home builders, fed up with your electrical and low voltage companies that ghost you mid-project, sparking delays? Unreliable subs and poor electrical work that derails your schedules? Denny Thompson here for Tyson Inc., experts in seamless electrical services for your custom builds. Pre-construction planning, integration, and installation. No hassle. Your homeowners will love the new Tyson showroom. Home builders team up with Tyson for your next home building project. TysonInc.com.
Are you ready to reclaim your backyard? Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, Surfside Pools is the trusted name for expert pool design. Family owned and operated, they offer pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools transform your backyard into the oasis that you crave. Are you ready to float happy? Visit surfsidepools.net or call 246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, where luxury meets leisure.
License number CPC 044080.
For over 55 years, Green Acres Sporting Goods has proudly served Jacksonville from the corner of Normandy and Hammond Boulevard. From archery to hunting and fishing, they've got the gear, service, and know-how to get you outdoor ready. Stop by their full-service archery pro shop and check out their wide selection of firearms. And while you're there, sign up for their weekly concealed weapon classes. You can find it all at greenacresporting.com.
Finding the right plumber to reline your cast iron pipes doesn't have to be a stressful experience. When you hire Superior Plumbing and Pipelining, you can rest assured you're getting the best in the industry. At Superior Plumbing and Pipelining, we're so confident in our work that we encourage you to get multiple estimates. Look at each company's reviews and check the scope of their pipelining work to make sure it's what you're expecting. But at the end of the day, make the superior choice. Superior Plumbing and Pipelining. Request a free estimate at superiorplumbingjacks.com.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to itppartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Hey folks, it's Frank Frangie for Lee and Kate's Glass. They say you're going to see a big difference, but what does that really mean? It means a live local person on the phone, a smooth, easy process, skilled craftsmen, and excellent customer service all around, with your satisfaction absolutely guaranteed. Visit leeandkatesglass.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Mike Dempsey for Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacksonville Beach. If your roof's got any damage, if it leaks, if it's just old and ugly, call my friends at Apex Roofing. But Mike, roofs are so expensive. It's true, quality roofing is not cheap, but Apex Roofing has up to 100% financing available, so you don't have to compromise quality for budget. Apex Roofing, no shortcuts, no stress, just quality work with financing available. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacksonville Beach. ApexRoofingFL.com.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and this month I want to talk to you about welcoming the winds of change in your life. But so often, when we see the winds of change coming our way, our immediate response is to fight it. Friends, when you see things in your life changing, when the winds of change are coming your way, don't fight it, but embrace it. Recognize that God is stirring you up so that you too can soar like an eagle.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
All right, that's good stuff. Hacker Nation is here. I've cut into your time, so let's get right after it. What do you have planned tonight?
Yeah, I was in the Jaguar locker room earlier today down at the Miller Electric Center. Went one-on-one with Bayshell Tootin and B.J. Green. Interesting talking to a couple of rookies, right out of the gate. NFL careers just getting started, and bam, division championship will both be playing in their first playoff game on Sunday. So it was interesting talking to those guys
who are some of the veterans they're relying on this week. So I think Jaguar fans will be interested in that. Those conversations come up in about 25 minutes. And we will go to Buffalo. Sal Capaccio, WGR Sports Radio 550. He's the sideline reporter on the Bills Radio Network. We'll get our first report from up in Buffalo, kind of get the Bills' perspective on this matchup coming up in the 9 o'clock hour.
I thought DJ Dallas did a nice job in his limited opportunities as a return man. Be interesting to see if Chutin gets 3-4 carries on Saturday, or excuse me, on Sunday against this very vulnerable rushing defense that Buffalo has.
For a 4th-round selection, Bashal Tutin's been a home run.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what has he found? 6-7 touchdowns this year out of the 4th round. I think he's been great. And B.J. Green is such a cool story, an undrafted free agent that worked his way onto the 53, and now there's not even a question. He's active every game day, and he's contributing as well. So, again, enjoy talking to those guys, and those conversations are coming up inside of 25 minutes.
Some guy just asked me about my fascination with serial killers because I watched the new Gacy special on was it Paramount or
I didn't know there was one.
Peacock. Yeah, Peacock?
I do.
Yeah, it's on. It was pretty good. The 8043 just said, don't murder Rick Ballou. There you go. So there you have it. So I appreciate it. I don't know if they're saying don't murder me or giving me advice on not to murder. Either or, let's hope it does not happen. Have a fun show tonight.
Appreciate it, Rick.
I'll be at the Miller Electric Center tomorrow. I'll have some player updates and some interviews. Thank you to the Philly Godfather. Thank you to John Osher. Thank you for all of your suggestions on where we should send the Bills Mafia. I mean, some incredible ones have come in. And participation is always appreciated by you. I didn't get an opportunity to respond to many of you tonight. We were just so busy, both on our text line as well as on YouTube. And the same thing will be happening tomorrow on a Thursday. Have a great night. Thank you to Dylan Denmark. I am Rick